Today, Monday, September 15, 2025, Canadian Parliament resumed, giving us another infamous question period. If you live in Canada or are interested in Canadian politics or both, you have definitely seen a clip from question period before. It's usually someone like Pierre Poilievre saying something ridiculous or a question that sounds ridiculous or just saying anything that sounds ridiculous, really. This is when all the parties come together and they pretty much vocalize their concerns with each other. Now, they're supposed to present it to everyone, so we often get some pretty funny or like funny sounding questions or questions that are presented in a way to make people laugh and point out the ridiculousness of the other party. That's what happens during question period, and this one was a lot of fun for me because it just strengthens my belief in that Carney is just such a good guy, or at least a good or better politician than others. For reference, I reviewed another question period between Stephen Harper and Tom Mulcair. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I didn't care about politics at the time when this happened, so I don't know who this guy is, Tom. But Tom, the opposition in the NDP, would ask these savage questions towards Harper. So then Harper would respond to the question, calling it stupid or, whatever. And then he would ask a just as bad question and attack back. And then that guy would respond, and then respond and attack and respond, just over and over again. What I especially liked about this one between Carney and Poilievre, I know other people got to speak, but I'm only going to be focusing about Pierre and Carney's first interaction in period time today. I want to start off by saying that Pierre did a very good job, in my opinion, introducing himself. He didn't come off too harsh. He just literally thanked everyone for being there and said, let's unite under this flag or something like that. Great introduction. Carney's response to this is to welcome Pierre back and then point out an achievement that he's made so far in his 6 months, which is going to be a recurring theme in every response. It literally is the only thing that he does. Well, he doesn't thank and then say an achievement, but he responds to whatever the person said, and then doesn't attack with another question, but rather defends with an achievement. His first defense or achievement that he mentions is that he has the largest women's caucus in Canadian history. I don't think there was anything in Pierre's introduction that pointed to women being underrepresented in parliament. Like, I don't know why he chose that as the defense. It wasn't really a defense, as there was no attack. It was more of just like, look what I've done. That's kind of the recurring theme, is I'm going to respond and then look what I've done. And again, what I appreciate about this is if you look at the other question periods, for example, the Harper one, they're just fucking savage. They don't give a shit, man. They'll fucking say, you fucking did this, you piece of fucking shit. And the guy will say like, no, I fucking didn't. You fucking did this, you fucking piece of shit. Like, it's just two people who fucking hate each other, just fucking like having meaningless conversations. It's fucking awful. And my point of all this is, I appreciate the calming down, dude. I understand, and I'm not bashing on Pierre. Let me make that clear. This is question period. This is his time to ask these questions. He's doing his job perfectly, I think, Pierre. But I can appreciate Carney's just defense and total passive play of the entire thing. Honestly, I've been advocating for this, man. Stop doing this shit. Stop just pointing out bad things. Look at the good side of it, man. This isn't, again, to minimize Pierre's concerns. This is the time to voice his concerns. But just because he's attacking you, which is what he's supposed to do, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to attack him back. And I can appreciate that Carney isn't doing that. Like, oh my god, how could you fucking hate this guy? Look at his smile, man. Come on. I guess the perfect example of what I'm trying to talk about is literally the first interaction. The first interaction is Pierre comes and he introduces himself. He thanks his writing. And then he even thanks Carney for calling such a prompt by-election. He even makes, honestly, I think, a very clever joke.
And I thank the Prime Minister for calling a prompt by-election. I wonder if one day he might regret that decision. But in a spirit of good faith, I wonder if he agrees that our goal should be a Canada where hard work is rewarded, where food and homes are affordable, where streets are safe, where borders are solid, and where we're all united under a proud flag.
I mean, I don't know if it was scripted or not, but he says, essentially, I'm not sure if Mr. Carney is going to regret having that by-election for me because I may beat him in the next election. You know, not the worst thing. He may beat Carney in the next election. And he would only be there because he called the by-election. That's just a nice, playful joke. That, like, why can't he just be more like that? If I love that. I fucking love that, man. It was so good. Carney then welcomes Pierre and then gives a bunch of achievements that he's accomplished, in the sense that he agrees with Pierre that they both want to just unite underneath the Canadian flag. Why can't it always be like that? Why can't it always be like that? That's so beautiful. Imagine if politics were actually like that. Do you know how much fucking happier everyone would be? You wouldn't turn on fucking global news and say, "Oh, Pierre's attacking again." Just you would be like, "Oh, oh, look, they're having a discussion. That's so beautiful." Like, what the fuck, man? Why do we do this to ourselves? I hope Carney is setting a trend for politicians to be nice again. That should be the fucking slogan. What is it? Make America great again? It should be make politicians smile again. Like, honestly, man, this is ridiculous.